Reacher Season 3 Episode 6 appears to have hinted to the eventual conclusion of a likable character's narrative with a single, powerful moment. Reacher Season 3 presents viewers with a varied cast of people, just like its predecessors. Some of them, like Villanueva, are morally upright and maintain the series' balance between good and evil, while others, like Xavier Quinn, are entirely adversarial with no chance of redemption. Similar to this, Paulie's appearance in Reacher Season 3 heightens the tension in the main plot since he is much more powerful and ruthless than the title character. In Reacher Season 3, Susan Duffy, Jack Reacher's new love interest, similarly to Villanueva, brings hope and heart to an otherwise bleak story. It would be dishonest to single out one character as the season star when there are so many interesting characters involved. But it may be argued that one character is more endearing than the others. A closer examination of a scene from Episode 6 of Reacher's third season appears to have hinted to the resolution of a story. In the sixth episode of Reacher Season 3, Jack Reacher's cover is ultimately exposed. But before Quinn and his men can harm him, he gets into a car and speeds through Zachary Beck's enormous mansion's gates. Reacher's act of smashing the gates open in Episode 6 of Season 3 demonstrates how he, too, knows when to leave the scene rather than defending himself and continuing to fight. However, the gates also appear to hint at Richard Beck's eventual escape from his father's estate. Villains like Quinn have targeted Richard, Zachary Beck's son, in an attempt to take over Beck's gun-running company. Because he is his father's kryptonite, Quinn can manipulate him by torturing him. Richard would have had a better life, but for his father's dubious business. Unfortunately, Quinn attacks his father in an attempt to exert control over him, despite the fact that he is not in any way involved in his unethical actions. In order to use Zachary as his puppet, Quinn even severed his ear. It is difficult to avoid imagining how Richard will ultimately become irate and drive out of the mansion's damaged gates after everything he has been through. He's already been punished enough for what his father did. He even appears to have lost his mind when Quinn makes him play Russian roulette in Episode 6 of Season 3. Richard may finally take matters into his own hands and leave a house that is keeping him trapped now that he is beginning to understand that his father is powerless to shield him from malevolent forces like Quinn. For Richard, Reacher has acted more like a father figure than Zachary. Reacher spends time training his kid self-defense and thrashes his bullies to keep him safe, while Zachary Beck is too preoccupied with his business and seldom visits his son. Even after knowing that Reacher is working with the DEA, Richard chooses not to tell his father the truth about his covert assignment, demonstrating that he also values his presence. Because of this, it appears that Reacher's act of smashing the gates is a kind of signal for Richard to follow suit and leave his toxic father behind. Richard's relationship with his father will never be the same following the events of Season 3, Episode 6, but only time will tell what he does. He will probably opt to keep his distance from his father due to his incapacity to shield him from men like Quinn, even if he chooses to remain in his house for a few years. Richard seemed to have grasped the importance of living free from the constraints of worldly possessions after meeting the title character Alan Ritchson in Reacher Season 3, which may prove to be yet another compelling argument for him to leave his father's wealth behind and live on his own. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.